dressed. But the carriages are waiting in the courtyard. Have you forgotten we're going to the opera?
No, but Bonaparte is working. And when he locks himself up in his studies, God knows when he'll reappear. No, but you go ahead. Go ahead to the opera. Ask Muriel Caroline to chaperone you.
Thank you very much, but I don't need any chaperoning.
But you're only 17, Hortense. And at your age, a girl can easily have her head turned. And men, you know.
And what if my head is turned?
Bonaparte has other plans for you. Nothing is settled, of course, but he's wishing for you to marry his brother, Louis.
Louis? But have you ever looked at him? Or spoken with him? He's ugly and miserable.
But, my child, if the first consul is asking for you to marry him...
The first consul should look after the affairs of state and leave me alone. And what's more important, he should look after you.
But he loves me as much as he loved me on the first day we've met.
Then let's hope that what everyone is waiting for will finally happen.
And what do you mean by that?
You know very well. People are surprised you haven't borne him a child.
But I will, soon. Who knows, I might be pregnant now. This morning, I got dizzy.
Don't fool yourself. You're not pregnant. And you may never be.
But what is the matter with all of you? Why is it that you all think that I'm barren? You and your brother Eugène. I gave you birth, didn't I?
Forgive me, Mama, but that was a long time ago.
"6,000 Frenchmen fell at Marengo. They transformed what everyone predicted as a defeat into a victory. Thanks to Marengo, a part of Italy regained her freedom. I intend to turn this victory into a splendid victory, which is why we must have a monument commemorating the battle.
This calls for a triumphal arch.
No, gentlemen, a fountain.
A fountain? But it's so ordinary. There's nothing splendid about a fountain.
Paris lacks water. Paris is dirty. Paris is dying of thirst. Every time Parisians draw water from this fountain, they will feel a moment of gratitude toward the men who fell at Marengo. Percy, you'll do the drawing. And Fortin, you will carry out the sculpture. I'm in conference, my dear.
Gentlemen, the first consul will see you tomorrow. Tonight is Christmas Eve. No one discusses profane matters on Christmas Eve.
Just who do you think you are?
Your wife. We've planned to go to the opera, and that's what we're going to do.
No, certainly not. Go on your own, I have work to do.
I want us to be seen together. Paris is buzzing with rumors that are very painful for me, and your presence at my side will quell them.
What rumors?
They say that you reproach me for not having a child, and that you intend to get another woman pregnant whom we would pay to give up the baby at birth.
Preposterous.
Come, I'm longing for some music.
No, music will do nothing for me tonight.
But then don't listen. I will bend close to your ear and whisper little exciting things.
Devil.
Shh. Don't tell anyone. It's Christmas Eve.
What are you trying to do, girl?
They told me to move my cart. There's a procession coming this way.
Not anymore. They've taken a different route. Nice horse.
Oh, we're going by Rue Saint-Nicaise.
Fouché wants us to keep changing our itinerary as a security measure.
Even on Christmas Eve, it's a holy night. And anyway, you have fewer enemies now. Even the press is unanimously singing your praises.
I had to close down 60 newspapers to achieve that.
What's happening? We're just moving a cart out of the way, Citizen First Consul.
It's not my fault. They told me to go and they said not to bother. How could I know?
It doesn't matter. My soldiers will help you.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Hey, you! Move! Moving!
What's your name?
Isabel.
In Christmas tales, princesses are often called Isabel.
Oh, I'm not a princess, sir.
Perhaps not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. You must believe in the future.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Poor child. What's the point of filling her head with dreams? You know she'll never be anything else than a goddess knife.
That's how you think, my dear. As for me, I want France to be a country where nothing is impossible for anyone.
Don't stop! Drive on, for God's sake! Drive on!
What's happened to the other carriage?
My daughter! She was just behind us. Is she all right?
Are there any casualties?
Many dead. It's horrible. Hold on!
What is it, Murat?
They're safe. They're safe. We can't stay here. Soldiers, stay with us.
The little girl who was driving the cart.
She's there. The Providence was protecting you.
I didn't appoint Providence as Minister of Police for shepherd you.
I will know who the culprits are within a week. Until then, you must show yourself. Give the people the impression that you are invulnerable. The curtain rises at the opera in 30 minutes.
I'll be there.
How old do you think she was?
Hungry children always look younger. Gather up the remains of the horse!
The poor are begging for the meat, sir.
It's not meat. It's evidence. Go! My men showed the sketch of the horse to every dealer in Paris. One of them thought he remembered the man who he sold it to, a royalist agitator.
So you conclude the crime was signed?
Without a doubt.
I have a doubt. The royalists claim to be inspired by God. They would never have picked Christmas Eve to carry out such a dreadful crime, and they would never have sacrificed an innocent child.
History is filled with crimes committed in the name of God.
Why would the royalists want me dead? I've put an end the extremes of the revolution. Priests are no longer persecuted, and the émigrés have been pardoned. Now, look for the culprits among those anarchists and rebels, those who long for the return of the reign of terror, the Jacobins.
The Jacobins are political opponents, not assassins.
Oh, really? But who sent Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette to the guillotine? After murdering a king and a queen, why should they think twice about me?
Louis XVI and his Austrian women were tried and condemned by the Supreme Tribunal. Their execution was perfectly legal. There is no connection between that and the brutal attack.
It's enough, Fouché. If you don't agree with me, then go. I can manage very well without a Minister of Police. I'll create my own police force and run it myself.
And how will you justify my dismissal?
Justify? To the people? Do you really believe the people are going to miss you?
The people won't. But you will.
Ah, Monsieur Fouché. We've been looking for you, sir. We've had some information about the assassination attempt in the Rue Saint-Nicaise.
I'm no longer in charge of that case, or any other. The first consul would be dealing with these matters himself from now on.
But we've just arrested the man who bought the horse. He's called,
Carbon.
François-Joseph Carbon.
A Jacobin?
A royalist.
Aren't you going to tell the first consul?
The first consul can go to hell. But I think that this is how France has ended up after the revolution. But that puffed up, arrogant little man makes me appreciate the terrorist point of view.
So, the names of all the people involved in the assassination attempt in the Rue Saint-Nicaise and the confirmation that they were royalists.
Fouché was right.
Yes, I seem to remember saying at the time his disgrace was unwarranted. The man who set the bomb was guillotined this morning. All the others have been arrested and interrogated, and we've discovered this was just the first step in a plot to eliminate you and install a Prince of Bourbon as ruler of France.
Which prince? That fat pig who calls himself Louis XVIII? No, he's too old and too feeble for such an adventure.
Yes, but why not his brother, the Comte d'Artois? He fled to England, and he might have found money and support there.
Well, it's possible. The English are always enthusiastic when it's a question of getting rid of me. But d'Artois doesn't have the spirit. He's too timid and so stupid.
Of course, you're right. I think we must look for someone younger, more hot-blooded, possibly even insane. Why not the Duc d'Enghien?
Louis XVI's cousin.
He meets all the criteria. He's a Bourbon. He's dashing enough to please the people. He's sophisticated enough to please the nobility. And the return to royalty is a sacred crusade for him. Recently, he's emigrated to Ettenheim in the Duchy of Baden.
Which leaves him free to plot in peace. The Duchy of Baden is a sovereign state, and Enghien is under its protection.
Yes, but I wouldn't call him completely unreachable. Ettenheim is only a few leagues away from the French border.
A kidnapping? It's possible. But there would be a hell of a racket in the courts of Europe.
And what you lose in foreign affairs, you make up at home. Even the most fervent revolutionaries would applaud your decision to be firm with the henchmen of the monarchy.
Support from such men leaves me cold. They've shed too much blood. They voted for the king's death.
Yes. And I wonder, what would you have done?
I don't know.
Of course you know. The revolution was irresistible. You would have done much the same as I did. You can't fight a tidal wave, and you needn't worry about this business with the Duc d'Enghien ending up like the butchery of Louis XVI. They shouldn't come to anyone, necessarily. But of course, that's up to you, and only you, to decide.
Talleyrand.
Yes, Citizen First Consul.
Who, in your opinion, is tactful enough to arrest Enghien and bring him back to France?
What about Monsieur de Caulaincourt?
How would you like to approach this, monsieur?
With style and good manners, we shall knock politely on the front door.
And what if he doesn't open it?
In that case, I regret I shall be obliged to ask you to batter it down.
Go.
I'm not saying I don't want a child, but there is no rush. I have enough worries with my brothers and sisters, setting them up, arranging their marriages.
It would be better if you didn't get involved in their marriage. The match you made between your brother Louis and your wife's daughter is not a success.
Only because Louis won't make an effort. Hortense is absolutely adorable.
My compliments, madam. I beg you to forgive this intrusion, but Nguyen is an insane.
How is he?
The prisoner is calm, fragile, pale, exhausted.
And nonetheless extremely arrogant.
No, extremely dignified. He's a prince of the House of France.
Thank you, Konako.
Madam, bon appétit.
What are you going to do now?
It's for the tribunal to decide.
It's what Pontius Pilate said.
Nguyen is not Christ.
I don't care who he is, but you, Napoleon, must not become a murderer.
What's that? My carriage, quick. I want to go to... Oh, never mind. Prepare my bath.
Oh, ma fiancée.
I don't need you. Leave me alone.
Ready! On my command, aim!
I heard a noise. Haven't you been to bed? Look at me. Why don't you look at me? You've done it. You've done the dreadful thing. Although I begged you not to, so did your mother, your entire family.
This affair doesn't concern you or my family. It's an affair of state. It concerns the government of France and me.
You. Yes, you. You could have pardoned him. You didn't need anyone. You only said to say one word. One little word.
If he had asked me to spare him. But those Bourbons are so stupidly proud.
Proud, yes. But innocent. He wasn't even in France during the attempt to your life.
His friends were. And even if they didn't do it in his name, they did it for him.
This foul deed will bring a curse upon us. Sorrow to you and sorrow to me. Because I couldn't stop you. And sorrow to all who had a hand in this crime.
Come closer, Napoleon. Come and admire these marvels. No one will dare say that my expedition to Egypt was pointless.
Or that the Duc d'Angers' death was an assassination.
No. The case is closed.
For you, perhaps. But d'Angers' execution was on the agenda for the deputies. They approve of it by a large majority. All of those who voted for the death of Louis XVI consider you one of them now. They even have a title to propose for you. Emperor of the French. It's not a bad idea, of course. On one condition, to avoid any possible confusion. It must never look like a disguised return to the monarchy.
There will never be a king in France again, Napoleon. I fought and would have given my life to make France a republic.
But an emperor can be elected, like the Caesars in ancient Rome.
The Caesars were elected by the Senate. I would want all the citizens of France to approve my election.
Then let me be the first citizen of France to offer my approval. Sire.
Sire. Sire.
You'll get used to it very quickly.
We'll see.
Results of the plebiscite. A total victory. No one could deny that the French people want you as their emperor and want a member of your family to succeed you. What are you doing?
It's obvious. I'm correcting what is not right.
But it's illegal and unnecessary. I mean, you have 3 million yes against 2,500 no's. What more do you want?
It's not only the result that counts, Lucien. The distribution is just as important. Oh, the army's tally is very disappointing. Only 130,000. There, 450,000. The world will know that my soldier came out in force to support me. That should make it harder for the English to unite other powers against us. Now, take that to the Senate. And tell them that my figures are the ones to be officially proclaimed.
I continue to think that the truth...
The truth? What truth? You still have not understood that power is in the appearance of power.
Absolutely, my dear. From now on, when you want to talk to me, you must address me as His Imperial Highness, the Grand Elector.
And what about me, your wife? What am I called?
Oh, for God's sake, Julie, you're only the Emperor's sister-in-law. It would be the last straw if you had a title while we, his own sisters, aren't even princesses.
Speak for yourself, Caroline. I am a princess.
Well, it's not fair. It really isn't. Why her and not us?
Because Pauline married Prince Borghese. I can't help it if you and Caroline preferred to marry generals.
My dear Bonaparte, I trust you don't see my marriage to Caroline as a bad match.
You're my friend, Murat, and that's worth all the titles in the world. When I gave my friendship, I never take it back. But a crown can be lost. But I would be grateful if you would stop calling me my dear Bonaparte. Remember to say sire when you address me. And this goes for all of you.
But it's a family gathering.
The imperial family from now on. All the princes of Europe are watching us, and they can't believe what they see. Those Bonapartes aspire to the rank of Royal Highness. And they are not even aristocrats. They are barely French.
We will show them we are their equals.
Don't nurse any illusions, Carl. If we want those people to treat us as equals, we must behave as they do. They will mock us at the tiniest slip. It doesn't bother me at all, except that France, and the honor due to France, is at stake through me.
And I'm sure you will never change. Emperor or not, your white bridges will always be covered with stains. I don't know what you do with your bridges.
He wipes his pen on them, of course.
Let's discuss my coronation. It will be the 2nd of December in the Notre-Dame de Paris with the Pope's blessing.
The Pope? You want the Pope to come here? But you don't know what you're talking about, Napoleon. You can go to Rome to see the Pope and receive his blessing, but he will never come here just for you.
Yes, he will. He owes me a lot. I drew up the Concordat that restored peace between the church and the state. Without it, there would be no more religion in France, and God would be just another émigré.
I see you've planned everything. Almost everything. Becoming emperor also means founding a dynasty. How will you do that with a woman who hasn't even bothered to bear you a child?
I beg you, Lucien. You're talking about the mother of my wife.
What of it? We're not talking about your dear Hortense.
That's enough. Do you think she would have abandoned me if I'd lost on the 18th Brumaire? If I'd been thrown into prison or even executed? No, Lucien. Josephine would have never abandoned me. I've decided that she will be crowned with me. From now on, Josephine will not only be your daughter-in-law, she will be your empress. So please take note of it.
It won't stop me thinking.
You will think in silence, 2 paces behind her. Eavesdropping?
I was just passing by, sire. I walk very slowly.
You are Minister of my foreign affairs, monsieur, not of my family affairs.
Yes, of course, but I couldn't help overhearing, sire. I fear your brother Lucien is correct. An emperor without an heir is in an extremely tenuous position. A successful attempt on his life can annihilate everything, not just the man, but his work. Sire, I think you should take all the time you need. You will find a delicate way of explaining it to her.
Explaining it to her is not a problem. I love her. That is the problem.
To Namur.
Perfect.
Pope will think we've run into him totally by chance. I cannot let him imagine that I would make an effort to meet him. I owe him no more respect than I do to any petty little king.
The procession is coming, sire.
Gentlemen, remember, we are out here hunting wolves. Excuse this dreadful mud, Holy Father, but it's been raining so much lately.
We've always wondered if the Pope, like his divine master, could walk on the water. I cannot, evidently. But I do have other powers.
Such as crowning me emperor.
Yes. And also marrying you.
Marrying me? But I am married.
During our long and tedious journey, one of my cardinals told me that you and the future empress have not been united before God.
Well, that may be true, but our civil marriage is no less valid.
To me, it is meaningless. But rest assured, I shall be delighted to bless your union before God.
I have no intention of getting married a second time.
Well, unfortunately, I cannot crown a man emperor who is living in a state of sin.
Very well. But a discreet ceremony without unnecessary witnesses.
When one has the Pope as a witness, sire, no one else is necessary.
Please, let me help you. Take my hand.
Your shoulder.
Yes.
Push. Great. Yes, harder.
Good, very good. Au revoir. I'm having the cathedral entirely redecorated. My idea is to transform Notre Dame into a Greco-Roman temple.
That is to say pagan.
That is to say spectacular. Isabelle, you have depicted me as smaller than Monsieur Talleyrand.
Well, sire, I was merely respecting nature's proportions.
A man's scale is determined by his destiny, not by nature, monsieur.
Of course, sire.
So you will stand here.
And you will be over there? I fear my arm will not be long enough.
For what?
To put the crown on your head.
It will not be necessary. I intend to crown myself.
Then why am I here?
To bless my reign.
Oh, who exactly are you asking to bless your reign, sire? Almighty God, or his humble deputy on earth, the Pope?
Humble? Is that the word you use to describe the thunder of organ music? Clouds of incense, altars full of flowers, robes trimmed with gold.
Sire, you confuse God with religion.
On the contrary, I separate them. On the one hand, a theory, God. On the other, a certitude, religion. It gives human society a framework. People would have no reference points without religion. We saw the results of that. When, during the revolution, the churches were looted and the priests guillotined. The country toppled into anarchy, the chaos and madness of the reign of terror. You can do without God, but not without religion.
Do without God? Can you live without faith in the immortality of your soul? Without belief in the everlasting life?
If you had ever been on a battlefield, you would not believe in God either.
But I spend all my days and all my nights on a battlefield, sire. The whole world is a battlefield. And every man who suffers is a terrible defeat for me. Place the crown on your own brow if that is what you wish. I will pray it does not become too heavy for you to bear.
Have you ever regretted being Pope?
It terrifies me, sire. Every day that God gives.
You may leave us.
My God, you're beautiful. Not a day over 25.
It's makeup. A painter invented it and helped me put it on, working highlights and shadows, as if I were a masterpiece.
You are.
Your masterpiece, then. The masterpiece of your love. May I have your permission to say that?
Do you doubt it?
Not when you look at me like that. Not when we're alone, just the two of us. It's the other people who frighten me and spoil everything. The people I'm giving every excuse to hate me.
The trick is not to see them. Keep your eyes on me.
But I won't be able to at the most important moment, when I lower my head.
Then remember that my eyes will always be on you. You've captured the Pope perfectly. He looks as if he'd been made to sit for you and forbidden to move. How bored he seems, poor fellow.
All he could see from his position was the back of your coat.
Where's my mother?
Well, nowhere, sire, since your dear mother preferred not to be present at the ceremony.
Because she couldn't bear the idea of seeing Josephine glorified. A cat fact. But history will never understand why she was absent at such a vital moment. Here, David. Paint her right here. Make her easy to see. Give her a beautiful dress and see that she looks radiant.
Sire, I don't know if your dear mother would appreciate.
She'll be furious. She's very stubborn, like everyone else in the family, but with time, she will be grateful that I saved her from appearing so petty. Very well, David. It's going to be beautiful. When do you think it's going to be finished?
Well, sire, it takes time, no? 2 years, maybe 3? 2 years, David. Hurry up.
Soon this empty sea will be covered with ships full of men, horses, and cannons. Head west. If God grants me favorable winds, I'll be in England in 6 hours' time.
It's not just a question of winds. The English fleet is out to sea, and our landing boats aren't...
The Admiral Villeneuve will be here soon. He's sailing from Spain with 74 warships.
The English are barely 50. This mass won't take long to say.
We may have God on our side, but the English have Nelson.
Nelson. What is this Nelson? A little man perched on a lump of wood. That's called a boat. Well, Murat, boats can be sank.
Convicted of spying for England, they are condemned to be shot by firing squad. Soldiers, present arms! Aim! Fire!
If blood must be shed, it's time it was English blood. The population of Boulogne is...
What has the population of Boulogne got to say? I've had 200,000 men stationed at the city gates for over a year. All the wine merchants and whores must have made a fortune.
True. The army stinks of wine and ass.
Don't worry, Murat. It will soon be stinking of gunpowder.
Sire, perhaps you can put your maps of England away for the time being.
Are you bringing news of Admiral Villeneuve?
I am, sire. Monsieur de Villeneuve has judged his squadrons too vulnerable and his sailors too ill-prepared to face Admiral Nelson. He prefers to wait, sire.
Hiding behind a rock like a frightened child. Coward. Idiot. Has he realized what he's done? Without his ships, I'm stranded here like a legless cripple.
Sire, perhaps it's best that we're not crossing the Channel, because the English have also convinced both the Russians and the Austrians to attack us from the east, while our army is occupied here in the west. A sound strategy, if rather English.
The English forget that my strength is speed. In 20 days, I will be in the heart of Germany. Murat, change of plan. Order the bugle to sound the call. We will leave at once, 30 miles a day, 5-minute pause every hour. I want drummers at the head and tail, and drumming without a break to fire the men with courage.
They won't lack courage if you are with them.
I will not be with them. I'll be at the opera, at theater, at balls, and on hunting trips. I must put them off the scent. If I'm seen in Paris, the enemy won't imagine that my army is racing to meet them. I know, gentlemen. No one has ever seen 200,000 men with all their equipment accomplish such a feat. That is the key to our victory. It's because it seems impossible that we are going to do it. And that's why from now on, the army will be known as the Grand Army. Here, the game will be played. Once Austria and Russia are crushed, along with Prussia, should she be tempted to join in the game, I will rule Europe, and England can rot in her lair. You're in luck, Fouché. Returning to politics, just as things are going well.
Apart from one detail, sir, the state coffers are empty.
I shall fill them. Winning the war means making a fortune.
Before we can win it, sir, we must declare it. Your army is ready, but there's been no battle.
Fine. We will attack. We have avoided suspicion long enough. I'm joining the troops.
Ow!
I've delivered you from an enemy.
Scout. The main army will be here soon.
Don't be afraid. We'll face it together.
Together. I will be old long before you.
I may be dead before you. I have a war to win, and I'm needed. So get up, Josephine. We are leaving now.
Oui?
Yes, for Strasbourg. When the men see you traveling with us, they will think that the war won't be too long and brutal. It's very important for their morale.
You calculate everything.
I try.
Have you ever made love in a coach, driving through the night?
You poor thing, you're drenched.
Rustam will prepare a hot bath for me later on at the camp. You know that cures me of everything.
I hope of not being separated from you.
I want you to write to me. Once a day at least. Twice would be better. Now listen carefully. If anything should happen to me, you will be regent until...
Until your son will be of age to succeed you.
My son.
You took me with such passion last night. I wouldn't be surprised if you're giving me a beautiful child.
If anything happens to me, I will be succeeded by Hortense and Louis' son, a Bonaparte. You'll see, I've done it all.
Can't you come back to me? I can't live without you.
Very bad everywhere. This house, the best.
It will do. Prepare my bath. I'm frozen.
It will be a while before you can warm your toes, sire. Your tub is far behind us, stuck with the rest of the wagons.
Not to worry, sire. Rustam fixed something for Majesty.
Good. I never felt so cold in my life. What is this exactly?
Sire, it's for pigs. But Rustam washed it before.
The Emperor of the French, in a big trough. On the day of the coronation, as we were walking into the cathedral, I said to Joseph, if our father could see us now, well, if my brothers could see me tonight.
Look, have a look. Eggs. Beautiful eggs.
Oh, this is all I could find. Not bad, huh?
Not too bad.
I tried to catch the hen for you, but she didn't care to be caught. And while I was chasing her, I slipped in the mud. Terribly sorry about the smell.
Oh, you do smell disgusting. But we will miss the sting of manna when we smell the stench of death. So give your eggs to Rustam. He will make us a fine omelette. And get in the water. It's still hot. Oh, I'm still just as cold.
Do you have a fever?
No, it's not that. No. It's more like if I had drank too much. Everything is going round. The walls are spinning. I'm choking. Lad, please, help!
Napoleon!
His Majesty needs doctor.
Have a fever.
I feel better now, Rustam. But if you'll kindly stop ripping off my skin.
No. Don't get up until we know what's wrong. I've sent for the army surgeon. He's going to examine you. Perhaps bleeding would be.
No, bleeding never. I only shed blood when I'm on the battlefield.
Well, Rustam, where is our omelette?
Oh, you're hungry. It's a sign you're better.
Wait till you see me sucking the marrow from Austria's bones and grinding Russia into a pate. I shall give the English good reason to call me Bonnie the Ogre. Well, gentlemen, let this be quite clear. I'm not ill. I didn't feel faint. If any one of you should make the slightest reference to this passing weakness, I shall consider he has betrayed me. And I only know one way to punish traitors.
Yes, with a dozen bullets.
Plus my contempt.
I will be the first to take position. I want to force the Austrians and the Russians to fight where I decide.
We will be on high ground, of course.
That's you, Konaku. Wanted to look down on people because you're marking?
Sire, all the military handbooks agree that the most favorable position for a battle is on high ground.
The authors of those handbooks are not where we are today. By the way, where are we?
Austerlitz, sire.
Well, gentlemen, Austerlitz will prove Kolanko's beloved handbooks wrong. We will give the high ground to our opponents this time. I will let them occupy the plateau of Pratzen.
So they can swoop down on us?
No, so they think they can swoop down on us. The road to Vienna, my friends, we control it. So let's try to think from the enemy's point of view. In your opinion, what will he concentrate his forces on above all?
Taking back the road and cutting off our line of communication.
Quite right.
Just let them try. We'll stop them in their tracks. We'll stop them before they even make any tracks.
Now I stop you. We are going to pretend we are abandoning the road. As though we are terrified by the force of the enemy's fire. We will turn back and retreat.
Thus encouraging the enemy to advance.
That's when he will make his mistake. Because to advance, he will have to withdraw some of his troops from the plateau of Pratzen. And our right wing will be waiting at the foot of the plateau. They will start by retreating.
Retreating again?
Just enough for the enemy to fall into the trap, as it is a trap. When we feel that our opponents are confident, we will stop retreating. Bernadotte and Soult will attack the plateau of Pratzen, while Lannes and you, Murat, will take the lot of them from the rear.
It sounds so simple.
It is simple. That's why they won't see it coming.
Horrible mist, sire.
No, Konaku. It's a blessed mist. It stopped the Austrians and the Russians spotting our positions and seeing our regiments assemble on the plains. Davout, take advantage of it and get closer to Kutuzov's main army.
Very well, sire.
What about me, sire? Give me 10 minutes and I'll take the plateau of Pratzen.
Yes, indeed, Soult. I'm counting on it. Only wait for the mist to lift. The sun is going to appear. I can feel it. It's very near. We understand each other, the sun and I.
Backed the sun before?
Yes. The mist was for the trap. The sun will be for victory. Its light will strip away the enemy's arrogance when it reveals how close we are.
The sun, sire. They're cheering the sun. They see it as a good sign.
So do I. Gentlemen, the Grand Army will attack. And music playing at the head. We have no more need to hide now. Soult?
Ready to lead the charge, sire.
It's always so beautiful at the beginning. turn, Lan. Sweep across the plain with your 5th Battalion. Murat will be just behind you.
All that in one day, sire?
In a few hours, yes. 20,000 of their men dead, between 7,000 and 8,000 of ours.
Sire, I think for one day...
Seen enough? No, Talleyrand, not yet, no. No. Open your eyes, look, listen, smell, until nausea overcomes you, because you're going to negotiate peace. I want you to know what it has cost.
You never come down from your horse, sire?
I've been known to sleep in the saddle. I think I've done just about everything a man can do on horse's back, except make love. But that's still a possibility.
And what will you demand from them?
I can't demand anything.
Anything? You're the master.
Good. Then I demand peace.
Peace? That's all you want. How magnanimous. Your modesty will certainly come as a very pleasant surprise to both the Emperor of Austria and the Tsar Alexander.
That's all for the main part. As for the details, Austria will give back the Tyrol and Venice. I want the Tyrol for her strategic position and Venice for her treasures. I mean, I want to transfer that remarkable quadriga on the Place Saint-Marc to Paris. I'm sure that Eugène de Beauharnais won't refuse that to me. I've made Josephine's son Viceroy of Italy. So, Venice is for Eugene now, and the Quadriga too. I shall crown my brother Joseph King of Naples. Louis and my beloved Hortense will rule Holland, and I shall give Westphalia to Jérôme. And there will be no more war, because the whole of Europe will be irrigated by my own blood. You have something to say?
I have nothing to say, but certain royal families may, unless...
Unless nothing. No one questions my decisions.
But I'm not questioning them, sire. I'm merely making a suggestion which could serve to reassure the European courts. For instance, you could, Your Majesty, speaking hypothetically, of course, repudiate the Empress Josephine on the grounds that she has yet to give you an heir and marry the Archduchess of Austria.
Cast Josephine aside for Marie-Louise.
Yes.
If this is your idea, let me tell you it's extraordinarily stupid.
But, Your Majesty, I have the highest respect for Empress Josephine. But creating a bond as strong as a marriage with the House of Austria...
Now I've made war with Austria. You want me to make love to her. But to make love, Monsieur Tallien, you have to love.
Love? Sire, what's called for here is making a child.
With that fat pink ham, who no doubt speaks French with a terrible accent?
Your Majesty, the whole of Europe finds Marie-Louise extremely attractive, and if you should require some proof of that... I'm certainly not insisting.
France has already had an Austrian woman, Marie Antoinette. You can't build the future on bad memories.
It's me, sire. Elinor de Nuel. I'm sorry I'm so late.
Don't worry. I told Josephine I was working. And your lateness has turned my lie into a white lie. I've had time to scribble a few thoughts on that map.
Really? Where's Trafalgar?
Trafalgar never existed. Do you realize, Mademoiselle de Nuel, that you're looking at a state secret? And I could have you arrested for that, my angel.
You'd only be punishing yourself. Unless you came to make love to me in my cell.
It would be easier to have privacy. It's ironic. They are pushing me to repudiate my wife so I can fertilize an alliance. And they would call me a treacherous husband. They quote me caressing little maid.
Not a little maid. Lady in waiting and reader to Imperial Majesty.
Oh, sorry.
Please, you sire. They're Josephine's.
No. They're beautiful on your skin.
Thank you.
Tell me, it doesn't bother you sitting at my wife's knee, reading to her, knowing that you will be coming to my bed the same night?
You would have had a mistress anyway. You enjoy love too much, sire. You enjoy it even more when there's a risk involved.
You sure? Josephine coming back from a theater.
Why didn't she come in?
Because she's 20 years older than you and much too intelligent to lay herself open to comparisons. You played dreadfully today.
Would you rather I let Mademoiselle Dunuel take my place? Oh, perhaps she doesn't play chess. She can't be good at everything, can she?
You should know better than me, because Eleanor Dunuel is one of your ladies-in-waiting.
And one of your mistresses.
Just gossip.
She has a way of talking about you that gives it away. Not only she's your mistress, she's in love with you.
Supposing that's true, the only thing that would matter to you is whether I'm in love with her.
Ah, good question. What's the answer? She excites you, but you don't love her.
You see, you have nothing to fear. Your turn.
I'm not afraid of Eleanor Dunuel. No more than any of these other little... that you've taken to bed, and you go on taking to bed. The only thing I fear is that you will love me less and less, until the day comes when you don't love me at all.
That will never happen.
Anything can happen, my friend. Proof? Check.
Unless I sacrifice my queen, in which case...
Oh, I would be checkmated.
Hmm?
Let's start over. This game isn't going well for either of us.
Very good sidewalk, sire. Very good. Very good. That horse was destined for your majesty. If the Queen of Prussia could see you now, she would have to eat her words.
What did the Queen of Prussia say?
That woman, sire, or rather that harpy, has been telling anyone who is willing to listen that little Monsieur Bonaparte, those were her very words, sire, is just a monster from the barn.
What did you think of her? Attractive?
Oh, no, no, sire, no. My God, she has a goiter.
Good God, poor thing.
Sire, that woman doesn't deserve your pity. She's a Valkyrie. She rode across Berlin at the head of a regiment of dragoons and swore she would lead them all the way to Paris. And added that swords were unnecessary for defeating the French. Clubs would suffice.
Oh. I am a monster leading a race of dogs. I was quite right to send you there as our ambassador, Monaco.
Thank you, sire.
I'm starting to get an idea of Prussia's intentions toward France.
What I find quite extraordinary, sire, is the serenity with which your majesty listens to my report.
My serenity comes from the fact I have 150,000 men ready to die for me, Monaco, with whom I can subjugate, crush, or destroy anyone I like. And not only can, but will.
was your friend?
My friend, sire? What do you mean?
The Queen of Prussia. Obviously not enjoying war any longer. Women are so fickle. What time is it?
Nearly midday, sire.
2 hours from now, Jena, which was only the name of a small town, will become the name of a great victory.
Since the battle in Jena, such a great victory, what's keeping the Emperor there? I mean, you came back, didn't you?
I fear I'm not much use on the battlefield.
Battlefield? The war goes on?
Now that the Emperor has defeated the Prussians, he has decided to wipe out the Russian army, which he sees as a threat to the peace of Europe, so he has set out after them through Poland.
Poland? I hear Polish women are very beautiful.
Mm.
The Emperor must be far too busy to think of me, but has he forgotten France?
Hardly. But perhaps his France exists not only in his memories, but in his dreams. Every day he sends designs for new monuments, parks, halls, markets, an exhibition for manufactured goods, and of course his preferred creation, the Civil Code, which will reform relations between the French people with respect to daily life, inheritances, marriage contracts.
Divorces?
Yes, divorces too.
Very well. Since you seem to be saying my husband won't be back for Christmas, I shall join him in Poland.
I shouldn't think that would be a terribly good idea, madam. And if you returned from that journey sadder than when you departed, you'll have only yourself to blame.
The man I love is there.
It takes two to love.
What are you insinuating?
Insinuating, madam? Strange, isn't it? People always accuse me of wearing a mask to conceal my thoughts. And yet the one time I'm completely candid, you appear not to have understood. But then perhaps it's you who's wearing the mask. No?
This will bring her to her senses. I read it.
We must make this known.
To her?
No, to him. As quickly as possible.
Push it! Come on, push it harder! Push it!
For God's sake, Glencourt, you sound like a midwife.
Have fun you at last, Tsar. I've come from Paris to give you this.
Always terrible news with you. What have you uncovered this time? Another conspiracy to assassinate me? Well. Glencourt.
Yes, sir.
Read it.
Bonjour, monsieur. Minister of Police wishes to inform Your Majesty that the 13th December 1806, the 29 Rue de la Victoire...
Rue de la Victoire, it's perfect.
A young woman named Louise Alcaterine du Noël gave birth to a child of the masculine sex, father unknown.
Come now, Conacourt. Don't pretend to be more stupid than you really are. You don't understand? Read that last line again.
Gave birth to a child of the masculine sex, father unknown. Father unknown is...
The Emperor, yes, Conacourt. His Majesty has a child.
A son, Conacourt. I have a son!
Sire, I am delighted to be the first to offer Your Majesty my heartful congratulations. It's...
Thank you, Conacourt. Thank you, and thank you to Eleanor. Marvelous, miraculous little Eleanor. Thanks to whom I'm a father.
Sire. Messiah will speed things up.
I beg you, monsieur, help me. I must see the Emperor.
That's impossible. Absolutely impossible.
Do you permit one of your ruffians to insult Countess Marie Walewska, sir?
Did you say Countess?
Yes. Welcome, sire. 1,000 times welcome. Our Polish soil awaits you to rise up and...
And what?
I don't know anymore. I prepared so many things to say, but... now that I see you, I am lost for words.
So am I, mademoiselle. So am I. Which means we shall have to see each other again once we have both found the words we need. Would you like that?
I'm sorry about that, sir. It's,
What's your name?
Oh, she's called, Countess... Countess... What did she say? These Polish names are impossible.
I want to know. Find out her name. And find her.
Yes, of course, sir.
His Excellency, Minister Jerzy Czapowski and Madame. Count and Countess Henryk Dobrownik. Baron and Baroness Chlodowski.
Ah, well, sire, I think Your Majesty has met everyone in Poland worthy of being introduced to you.
No, no. Someone is missing.
I don't think so.
Count and Contessa Anastase Walewski.
There. No one's missing now. When such an old man marries such a young wife, he should long to cover her with jewels, so she will forgive him. I'll see if something can be done about it.
Sire, that's not what I want from your majesty. My country no longer exists. Prussia, Austria, and Russia have dismembered it. Return Poland to me.
Léon, sire.
What?
Your son, Mademoiselle de Noël, has called him Léon.
Half of Napoleon. But he's what he is.
7 pounds at birth. A big boy. You know how efficient your police are, sire. We know everything.
Make him a count with a yearly income of 25,000 francs. Have you something to write with?
It's not necessary, I will remember. 25,000 francs and the title of Count.
I don't mean that. A note for Countess Walewska. I see only you. I admire only you. I desire only you. An answer quickly to calm the ardor off. Don't bother to sign it. She will know who wrote it. Arrange for her to find it the moment she arrives home. Order my carriage.
But the ball, sire.
What's the point? Since she's not dancing.
Will you dance with me, madam?
If you don't ask me for anything in return.
Madam. May I, Count Walewski? On second thoughts, I do have something to ask you.
Kindly refrain, sir.
Sire. Sire.
Not now.
She is here.
Who?
She, Countess Walewska.
Here?
Yes.
Here.
In your bedroom. Was I wrong to convince her to come here?
Gently, sire. Come to me as a man, not a conqueror.
Why are you afraid, madame?
It's of no importance.
Yes, it is for me. Are you not here of your own free will? Monsieur de Caulaincourt can be extremely persuasive, but he would never have forced you. He's a marquis.
Other people have advised me to use this opportunity to perhaps move your majesty. Prince Poniatowski. Even my own husband. All of Poland is throwing me into your arms, sire.
Don't be afraid, madame. You're not yet in my arms.
The nearer I come to you, the more you back away.
My back is almost to the wall.
And what are you afraid will happen then?
They say you have no compunction about taking what you want.
Nothing will happen against your will, I promise you. Goodbye, Countess.
Sire, return Poland to us as a sovereign country.
Is that what you've come to ask me? To give Poland back her king? I cannot commit myself. The whole of Europe wants to bleed me dry. But I can promise this. I swear that just as I will never forget this moment, I will never forget what brought you here. Give me little time if I see that the Poles are worthy of being a nation.
Of course they are. Look at me. Judge them by me. I am one of them.
Impetuous, passionate, running toward me like a mad thing, at the risk of being crushed by the crowd and then refusing to see me again. If Poland is anything like you, she must be a fantastic little country.
What must we do to make you love this fantastic little country?
Let yourself be loved.
Morning, sire. I hope you had a good night. Unfortunately, I have received some news that is not so good from Marshal Bernadotte. His men are starving. His horses have nothing to eat but the bark from the trees. His cannons are stuck in the mud.
So he's retreating. Let's not confuse things.
Send a dispatch rider immediately to Bernadotte. He must not try to resist. On the contrary, he must continue retreating in the way that drove the Russians toward us. Harness up my coach. I'm leaving for the front. Where are the Russians exactly?
Outside a town called Elo.
You're leaving?
I will come back.
I will come back. You must have said that so many times.
I've always come back.
But not always to the same address.
Would you feel more reassured if I married you?
Don't be cruel. We both know that cannot be. You're already married and so am I. The only thing you can marry here is...
Your cause. The Polish cause.
That was not in my mind last night. Not for a moment. Last night you were my country.
fellows don't lack courage.
Sire, our 14th line has been wiped out. Augereau is badly wounded. He lost 5,000 men in 20 minutes.
Any news of Marshal Ney?
We don't know where he is, sire. I've sent out scouts to meet him, but none have come back.
Check again.
We must move from here, sire. While there's still time...
Out of the question. Are you going to let those men devour us?
Hey! Yeah! Yeah!
If Ney and his men are not here by 10 o'clock tonight, I shall have no choice but to retreat. Grouchy and Berthier will form the rear guard. Let them know that I'm counting on them to stop the Russians if they follow us.
Very good, sire. But I wonder if...
It is wise to wait until 10 o'clock tonight. Is that what you are too timid to say? I haven't lost yet.
Gentlemen, the Emperor is watching us. We have the honor of showing him what we can do. Swords out!
Will that do it?
No. But it's magnificent.
I haven't lost yet.